All right, so now we're looking at a different option from the knee shield. In a previous video, I showed the weave, okay? And in this knee shield position from the top, you know, we have to be able to threaten both things at the same time. Whenever I push my partner's knee down, they're gonna attempt to open it hard, okay? And so depending on what, like backing up a step, paying attention to your partner's knee, the shield, where it is in terms of your center line is gonna give you a good indication of like which one of these is more available, okay? So if Reed is low here, it's gonna be much easier for me to sag on that, giving me the better option for the weave. That being said, if it's over here on this side, man, it's like, that's hard to smash down, okay? So I'm trying to weave here and he's opening his hip hard. Okay, I don't want to, like I talked about in the other video, I don't want to leave my arm here available for this lasso grip. So I'm trying to weave and I can't. So I can grab the knee like this. I can grab the knee like this. I can make a pant grip here. I don't want to go fingers in for competition, obviously. So I'm here. However you want to control this knee, I don't really care. It's preference, okay? But I will say this, be careful with this arm coming around. I don't want to get kimura'd here and have a trap to that arm. So my goal is to beat this leg. It's hard to do slowly, but I'm fat to read and I want to get skinny. So I'm going to close myself like a door. I'm here, I take the pressure off of the knee shield and I pull the leg past. At the same time, I'm going to slide this knee around to his inside hip. So I'm here, I pull the leg by, and I make this turn. My knees are pinched nice and tight, okay? From here, if he's framing, I'm gonna pummel my arms inside and put my elbow on the hip here, on the side of the other side of the body. So now I have a good frame with my left knee and my elbow nice and tight, okay? From here, I'm gonna turn down. I'm pivoting on my left knee, and this leg, my left leg, the detail here is super important. I want to keep my heel tight to my butt as I do this. I don't want to turn my leg straight, okay? Notice how I'm going to bring Reed's legs with me, his hips with me. So I pivot on this knee and I have active toes. My hip is not on the floor, he's carrying my weight, okay? So it's like this, I'm turning my back to my opponent. Okay, from here, I'm gonna take my right arm and I'm gonna cut his hip like this. A lot of people get caught in a weird spot here because they take this arm and they reach for the leg and they get caught and it's like, oh God, I'm never getting that back. So I wanna be careful about the way that I control his hip. I just bring it in like a knife, I cut his hip here. Now I'm gonna start with my right leg to heel toe until my foot gets close to his butt. And I can already feel it starting to free my knee here. So I get my foot as close to Reed's hips as I can. And now I'm just gonna make a little baby shrimp back. Just nothing drastic, just a little pop of the hips. I still have my toes active behind me. And now from here, I'm gonna swim my arm around his head as I drive my knee across his hip. If your knee's not totally free, it's okay. Just trust in the angle that as you go, it's gonna free your knee. So I'm here and I free my arm, I drive my knee to 3/4 mount. Okay, nice wide base here. All right, so one more time. Knee shield half guard. I go to weave and it's just like hitting a wall. He's opening his hip really strong. So I make a connection. However I wanna control the knee here, and I pull it past as I turn the corner. My elbow goes to the mat. If he's framing here, this can be difficult. So I pummel my arm inside. Elbow to the mat, active toes with my left leg, and I just pivot. This is a common mistake. People go like this, and now they have no base behind them, their hips on the floor, then get cross-faced real hard and swept. So I wanna keep my left foot glued to my butt here. I turn down, I bring my opposite arm, my right arm, into the hip framing. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Okay? little baby shrimp. I swim my arm out and drive to 3/4 mount. Okay? What you're gonna find here is you're gonna get, I like to say that this technique has like an A and a B option. And what you're gonna find is that you're gonna get one of two scenarios from your partner on the bottom. They're either gonna be really stingy with the leg, like Reed just demonstrated there, in which case we go and do what we just did. I'll call that option A, okay? Option B is that you get about halfway through that technique and the person is like, I'm gonna send it with a big cross face and bridge, okay? And in that scenario, we're gonna show option B here, which I refer to as the turn down pass with the long step, okay? So we're here, same exact thing. Boom, I'm skipping steps. I get here, I turn down, and as I start to heel toe, Reed, I'm always watching the feet. And Reed is going to take this leg off and take a big back step because he's just gonna send it on a big bridge here. Yes, okay? So as I see his legs come unhooked, my legs come unhooked, and I take a big back step. Notice that I keep my chest to the floor, not up like this. So I'm here, my right hand comes and blocks his hip, okay? Because if I keep my hand on the knee, as I go, he'll pull his guard, okay? So once I back step, I take my hand and I block his hip. That allows me to switch my base. Guys, when you're switching your base, and this is just Kesigatami, reverse Kesigatami, side control 101. I want to maintain contact with my knee as I move up my partner's body, okay? I don't want his elbow to come in, and I don't want his guard to come in, okay? So a lot of people get here, and they make the mistake of they get here, and then they swoop this leg out like a big circle, and it allows him to pull his elbow in, boom. I want to grind my partner's body here with this knee. So I'm replacing my knee with my hand, and now my knee drags up his body, and his elbow is out. This gives me good position for the next. Now switch my hand to the hip, and I collect the head, and I'm in a good pinning position, okay? So much about this like side control, Kesigatami is controlling this. And I always say in my classes that like for white belts, you got to understand, the earlier you can understand that we are always fighting for the real estate between our hip and our armpit in any position, okay? So if you notice when I come here to this turn down, from the very beginning of the technique, I'm already starting to take control of that. I do the same thing on the opposite side. And as I go through the technique here, as he backsteps, I backstep. I replace my knee with my hand, and now I completely take over that space by driving my knee to his armpit. Up, boom. And now I have total control. Look, I'm here. I control it here. I have total control on both sides of that space. It's so important as a beginner to understand that like we're always fighting for that, okay? So let's hit the option one. I'm here, I go. I turn down, elbow to the hip, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. He hangs on, so I swim and drive my knee to 3/4 mount. Okay? Option number two, I turn down. We get here, I start to heel toe, and he just sends it with his big back step. Boom, I send it, block the hip, knee to the armpit, switch my frames, and I'm there, okay? With these two techniques, really three, you have the combination of the weave pass, which was in a previous video. Now we have the turn down, option A and B. But I want you guys to understand that you have to play with this like a combination like a boxer would with his punches, okay? We are throwing the jab out there, which is playing with the knee shield. okay? And then we react accordingly. Through all the techniques that I teach in my academy, it's much less about like just picking one and doing it. Like, I'm gonna do the weave pass. Well, like, the person's on to you. So you have to play with it. You have to try the weave pass. You're collecting data in terms of how they react, and then we react accordingly. I think that you'll find a lot of success kind of taking the path of least resistance in terms of like the struggle, okay? So now we have 3 looks at passes from the half guard.